All right, ladies and gentlemen, the show today is, we're going to do a slash show. We're going to do a show on, we're going to do 10 minutes of tribute to the Bucket Man, Larry, a tribute to him, and then we're going to let Ed give you a little bit of his interpretation of what he thinks of the city and where the city is going and how he thinks of it, because he's been here a long time. And he is Ed Jackson, but he's also a celebrity status in this town. The man is a professional tap dancer, and he went to Japan and did celebrity things there and did some commercials.
Yeah.
He did some commercials as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bucket Man Larry's celebration of life. The what do you call it? I guess we call it an obituary type thing. But anyway, you can't see it that good. But anyway, this man was he was in the movie, the Pursuit of Happiness, I think, with Will Smith. He did a little thing. Him and Smiley, they had a little part, but they got paid every month from being into the Actors Guild, Actors Hall of the Actors Guild. But anyway, Larry, Ed, what do you think of? What do you want to say? I know you was real close to Larry. What do you want to say about him?
You know, Larry, Mr. Hunt, he was a very exciting artist, performer. I don't think the public really knows his roots. Larry Bucket Man Hunt was from Kansas City, Missouri, so show me state.
Yeah.
He performed in the beginning of his career because he was a very talented young drummer. And he played with the Allman Brothers. He played with John Lee Hooker. He's also out here performed with Sheila E. and her father.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Pete.
Wow.
They did a thing some years ago for Glide Memorial Church. And Larry got to do a small bit with Sheila and her father.
Yeah.
He did the Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, which he was very proud of. And so were we as artists and close friends with Larry.
Oh, I see, yeah. Well, I didn't really realize that Larry was that good of a drummer because he usually would be on the buckets. You know,
he played trap. He played
yeah, but I didn't know he was really, but I know he did get it. Somebody gave him a drum set.
Yeah.
For doing something he did for some people.
That was the, if you go back to 2014 and you Google my name, Edward Jackson, and then Intel commercial,
right?
You'll see Larry in the commercial. So it was back in 2014, and that commercial was international. So I was like playing the iPad.
Oh, you were?
And Larry was on the kit.
Okay.
And so some advertising people approached us, and we were performing on the street, and they made a decent offer for us. They treated us very, very well, and they purchased that kit that Red is referring to.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what the results. Oh, he got that. He performed. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. See, I didn't know because knowing Larry, I would say hi and goodbye. We never really got close, you know, because he'd always be busy. Most of the time when I see him, he'd be performing or he'd be in motion, you know. And when I heard that he had passed, you know, it was a heartfelt thing because he was young and he wasn't sick, you know.
Right. Iconic. You want to talk about iconic artists in San Francisco? You know, Larry Bucket Man Hunt led the way. You know, it hurt me deeply when I've been knowing Larry for 25 years.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know, and performing with him, and he had died. What was that, last year during President's weekend? He had died that weekend, and we were all, you know, shocked. It was interesting because he had said to me, because I started playing, you know, I tap dance, and I've been doing that just as long as Larry has been playing buckets down on Powell Street. And so he started showing me different rhythms and stuff like that. And so I caught on kind of quick because I'm already a tap dancer. So it's kind of similar. You just doing it with your hands instead of your feet. And he looked at me one day and he said, if something happens to me, you got to keep this shit going.
Or they said that.
That's what he said. Excuse the language. That's
Yeah.
what he said, and I
Wow.
was like, "Oh, there ain't nothing gonna happen to you."
Right.
And so, due to Larry, my show includes tap dancing, bucket playing, and doing a little funk thing on the
Right.
iPad. So,
But I noticed that you had started doing, right after you and Larry hooked up,
yeah.
you were doing some drumming yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing some things with the buckets. And I said, wow, Larry, I didn't know you could do it, but you were doing it really good. And then you would tap dance a little bit.
Yeah.
When he wasn't around, you'd tap dance,
Yeah.
you'd do that, and then you would have the iPad playing some music.
Or actually playing it, and I code a little bit, and so it's just manipulating the software
Right.
and making that your own, and that's what it is. I want to set something straight. It was like we all have things about each other that people may not particularly like, but in the case of when someone dies, it should be the ultimate respect.
Right.
I don't know what's happened to San Francisco. It's still a great city as far as I'm concerned, but Larry passed. Reading some of the comments on
Really?
on YouTube, it was disturbing.
I didn't really check none of that out.
Yeah,
But I know he was an icon, just like
he was iconic.
like you, Smiley, a lot of people,
Yeah.
even including myself, as when it comes to fashion.
Right.
We stand out.
You clean,
We make this city what it is, and people
That's
tell
right.
us all the time.
That's right.
So if something would happen to one of us, we're supposed to get, like you said, the highest respect,
Yeah.
not neglect. And they should, like the mayor should have said something, because when Smiley, they gave him the key to the city. They gave him that plaque
Yeah.
up there in front
Old
of
school
Saks.
Smiley. You remember Smiley?
They gave him a
Remember
lot of
Smiley?
things. They gave a lot of things to him at the time because Willie Brown was that type of mayor.
Right.
London Breed is not really giving the smaller people recognition like she should because, it's like, I don't know, I guess she figures she got to march to their sound, to their music. But Willie Brown, he didn't care. He did what he did, and he ran his mayorship.
I'll tell you something. I met the district attorney
Right,
when she
Jenkins?
first, Miss Jenkins. Hi. When she came to the city,
Right.
and I was doing my thing on the street, and she was going into the AT&T store.
Right.
And I'm straightforward. I don't sugarcoat it. I'm not rude, but if you ask me a question, I'm just gonna answer directly.
Right.
So I asked her a question, looked her dead in the eye. She tall,
Yeah.
and I'm looking up at her, grinning. She fine, boy. She fine.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I said to her,
What'd you say?
I said, "What is the issue in San Francisco?" You know what the DA said?
What'd she say?
She said it's the Board of Supervisors in San Francisco. So it's not the mayor, it is not the DA, Miss Jenkins, it's not Mayor Bree, it's the Board of Supervisors.
No, I don't believe it.
So I believe it. I've been street performing in the city. They've been lying to
Right.
us for years. Not only myself as street artist, Larry, Brian Compton, Harold.
Harold and the boys.
It's a whole list of artists that
Right.
you may not even be familiar with. We've been to the city hall. We've asked them to support us. Equipment has been taken away from us. They try to attach negative connotation to us. Like the artists are hypochondriacs and drug users and they're homeless. None of that exists with any of the artists that you see. Those artists that you see, and Tommy that plays guitar
Right,
on the street, wonderful artists, but it's the stigma that recently has these people are coming to our city and trying to attach negative connotation to us. It's not true. It really is. There's a lot of rumors about Larry Hunt. He died of an overdose. That is not true. None of that is true. These people didn't come down and support us. And I'm not talking about the tap dancer Edward Jackson or Brian Compton or Tommy or Harold. I am talking about street artists in general. So this negative connotation that this city is going on, something has to change, or you're going to lose San Francisco. We, and I mean people who are artists, painters, fashion people, the Fillmore, all of these areas. This is what makes San Francisco great. I don't care who doesn't like it. These people hiding behind these computers and taking pot shots at people, you wouldn't dare say it in our face.
Well, let me ask you something.
Yes.
Since you're such a tremendous performer,
Thank
we
you.
would hate to see you stop performing the tremendous performances you do to enlighten San Francisco every day on Powell Street and by the cable car turnaround. When can we expect you to come back and continue that? Because that is something that we need.
Should I tell them now, or should I tease them, Red?
No, you should tell them, because I know the audience want to hear it.
Okay.
And they want to see it, you know what I mean? Because
All
you
right.
are something.
Okay, Edward Jackson, the tap dancer in front of Pollock, and some of the kids, some of the parents,
Right.
some of their kids were little,
Right.
and now they're grown men with facial hair. I remember you when I was a little kid, little girls,
Yeah,
grown
right.
women. Now, you can expect to see me along with the Buckets. I'll be,
Yes, there you go.
playing and dancing October the 1st,
All right, October the 1st.
which is a couple of
That's
weeks.
coming up,
Yeah,
October
yes,
the 1st.
yes, we can-
So you heard it first on International Fashion Experience, that Ed Jackson, you understand me, will be, the tap dancing miracle will be back in performance on October the 1st. And that's good to know.
Yes. It hurt me deeply. People's like, wow, we haven't seen him. Matter of fact, there was a rumor going around that I had died. I was getting calls from out of state. People just like, did you die? And I'm like, no, that was my best friend Larry. He died, and I stopped performing because I just couldn't.
I mean, it took you time to grieve, you know. 'Cause
I grieved for months.
I know.
Months.
Because I tried to get you on this show, and we had to wait till
Yeah, I wasn't ready.
till you were ready.
Yeah, I was
and then I had to get to obituary. And I'm gonna show you again. The Bucket Man Larry was.
Yeah, for sure. Larry Hunt.
He was the iconic guy in the city, and we tried to make that area named Bucket Man. What they try to name that over there about? They said unequivocally it's named after him, but they said that they couldn't legally do it.
Yeah, they couldn't legally.
But they said it's Bucket Man Plaza or something like that.
They
was gonna name it that.
he was one of the iconic. It's crazy because Robin Williams come out of this area and
Right.
miming and Shields and
He did all that. He was baked it, yeah.
We know our history.
He came from the streets, yeah.
Yeah, he come right off the corner, off the block. And so I'm just here to set the record straight with Big Red. It's all of this negative stuff when people are talking about, they're spending their money on crack and fentanyl, and it's not true. It is not. There's a slander that goes along, and we just want to do business. Y'all could hire us.
Yeah.
We got our suits in the closet. I most certainly don't walk around with tights on and shirtless. All the time. I don't know what's going on in their head where they think we can't bring them in our establishment because they meant.
Well, you're an established person, and you been to Japan and performed.
Oh, I've been to Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Practically lived in Tokyo.
Right.
Was performing at the Shinjuku area. Been to Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
Seen the Coral Reef and the Three Sisters, and
Yeah.
I've been all over this globe.
The man's been performing.
And so has Larry Hunt.
Yeah.
Germany being sponsored
Right.
by different companies and things like that. But I think, in my personal opinion, this is my personal opinion, that people don't they don't have a high standard for black men.
You think so?
I think so. That's my personal opinion. They always think the bad.
Well, because you've been out there on front.
Yeah, I've been there.
You've been, like I say, on Powell Street right there.
Right.
Where
Yeah,
the heart
on
of
Powell
the-
Street, meeting
heart
people
of the
from
city.
Italy, and I speak Italian. People
Yeah.
are like, oh my God, where did you learn Italian? So
Yeah.
these are the things that we are dealing with. People don't understand what it's like being a street artist, and they just run with the negative. It's like, we're not criminals. We don't even have criminal records.
Let me ask you this: when you perform in the street, do you have to have a permit, or do they try to tell you that you have to have certain things?
Well, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to be very truthful with you. It's good to register your business.
Right.
Go get your fictitious business name,
Right.
get your EIN number, and do it the proper way. My people
Right.
are from the South, and so Alabama and Mississippi specifically. So I was raised with that diligence of taking care of your business,
Right.
and not playing with that. Take care of your business.
I see.
Mhm.
Well, that's good that you can be able to do that, because a lot of people they don't do that, and then they get ran off of different corners. I don't know what happened to some people I know that were doing business, and then they, just like if you're buying and selling, those people that sell things,
Right.
to sell things, they have to have a permit, I guess,
Yeah.
to sell whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, certain people they let have businesses down there, and certain people they don't, because like you've seen that a lot of black businesses that we had in the city, we don't have them no more. I know I was on film the other day, and this really shocked me.
What's
I
that?
went to this I thought it was a black store. They sold black girls proud, black girls,
Yeah, black garments and
all
whatever.
black girls stuff
Afrocentric.
all that about Afrocentric stuff.
Right.
I went in the store thinking that it was a black woman running it. This is on Fillmore and Gary.
Right.
It was a white man had the store. I thought to myself, now this is a black neighborhood. This is a black area,
Yeah.
predominantly black people. And why would a white man? They let a white man open up. A store.
We don't.
Why would I don't understand.
And we don't. And we're not using hate speech or saying we don't get along with people. But when you go to Japantown, right? Isn't that being run by Japanese people?
Yeah, especially
when you go to Chinatown. There's a Chinatown, right?
Yes.
So where's Blacktown in San Francisco? We are the originators. We created rock and roll, we created jazz, we created blues, and when it's saying something. Look at the NBA, look at the NFL. Whenever we contribute to society, the ruling class takes it, and we don't get credit for it. And when it's like, oh, that's not right, and you don't. But we can't have an area where we have our nightclubs, our restaurants, our black culture. I don't know, because I don't know what black culture is. I knew how I grew up, as a black man. My father didn't tolerate that. He was like, when you're doing business, you put a suit on. We believe in God. We're not fanatical about it. We believe in God. We don't judge people. I'm not ever gonna sit and point my finger at an individual and say, this is wrong what you're doing. That's not my title. That's the Lord's title.
Right, definitely.
I treat people how they treat me. If you treat me kind and respectful, I'm going to treat you that way. If you go the other way with it, well,
Right, but this what puzzles me though.
Yeah.
I was here in '67. I've been here all my
the year
life.
I was born.
Off and on. Yeah, the year you were born, I was 16, and I used to get my hair done at Capitol Barbershop on Fillmore. That whole Fillmore, there were so many black businesses there.
Yeah.
It was all black businesses. We had black businesses there.
Yes.
I mean, you couldn't. It was so many of them that we took it for granted. We never think that it wouldn't be a black business on Fillmore. Now it's Chinese, Japanese, white people. This is what astounds me when I see that a black person doesn't have a barbecue place up there.
Right.
You go to Divisadero, there's a white person with a barbecue. The black person that used to have barbecue had the good part, not there no more. It just seems like things are going backwards instead of forward as far as
Well, for us,
progressing for us.
yeah, for us, it's like other people with their causes, they can lobby and get the bushka, that's the envelope. They can get the envelope with the greenbacks in it, and everything is, that sort of thing. We got businesses, but it's on the street.
Yeah.
It's on the street. I see brothers out here that they go home to their place. They cooking soul food. They got their barbecue pits and they on the corner.
Right.
And we go and support that.
Yes.
Because we support our people. Well, I'm not trying to negate white folks, Chinese folks, or Asian folks. Where is our stuff for black folks?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Where is our stuff? And my culture is, I'm not knocking the youngsters or nothing like that. It's just a different generation.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We wore belts, and whatnot. That's our this generation. They sag their pants, and that's their generation. But don't think that all black people are like that, or that all people smoke weed. I don't smoke. I don't have anything against somebody who's 420 friendly.
Right. Yeah.
We don't judge. So these perceptions that people have of us, it's not true. And take it from two heterosexual men. Right. We're not toxic. We're not trying to do it. And I'm all around this city. You can come and talk to me.
Right.
You can come and talk to Big Red.
Yeah, you can talk to me.
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't want to talk because they don't want to talk about what's really important. They want to talk about something like pimping or something like that. That's not what's happening. I tell people all the time, that's not what's happening today in this culture. Back when I was coming up, it was a different situation. It was a different generation.
Sure.
And we didn't have the opportunities that we had now.
Yeah.
There's opportunities now, but I look at it like people are not taking advantage of them. Mm-hmm. Black men want to rap. They want to rap. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And everything they do is behind trying to be a rapper, which is not. They should use their talents or go to school, get an education. And then you see them on the corner selling drugs and doing things like that. And that's not good. But when you go to McDonald's or you go to one of these fast food joints, who's working in there? In this Bay Area, it's the Spanish. But then we get mad at the Spanish people for taking our jobs. But then again, they're the ones that work the hardest to get the job. And then you go to somewhere like Atlanta, Georgia, where it's all black mostly. There's a lot of black people working in Louisiana. You go to fast food joints, it's all black in there.
Yeah.
I said, well, I like this. Blacks are everywhere. They're working all these jobs. That in California, I see Mexicans doing it.
We don't, and God bless Mexican people or the
they good.
They handling their business. They're hard.
No, they hard workers and
they're
they
hard working folks. So we ain't got no gripe. Black folks
they stick together. No, we ain't got no gripe. They stick together and they can live.
Latinos.
They live together. See, we can't live together. That's the thing about us.
This is not even about them. This is about us.
Right.
Us coming together. So when people make excuses, I tell you to your face, I'm always in the neighborhood. I ain't running from no discussion anywhere. I have a discussion with anyone, anybody, anywhere.
Right.
Black folks, us, this color.
Right.
You can't sit up there and say the white man was doing stuff when we doing it to each other.
Right.
I don't see nobody saying anything. People are getting shot in Oakland all the time.
Yes, they do.
Where y'all at marketing and picketing in?
No, they don't. They don't do it.
See,
like
you want to do it when it's convenient, and you want to make excuses. I don't believe. Let me look in the camera. I don't believe in making no excuses. I look dead in the look you dead in your eyes. We have to take responsibility for our action. Black people. Red, he born the year I was born, 1967, so I'm 56 years old. Our folks should be able to walk down the street at 4 o'clock in the morning with no problem. Anywhere in this city.
Yeah.
That's respect. That's love for our people. See, you'll kill your people, but you won't fight for your people. And my definition of fighting for our people is being the best that we can be. I don't have a problem with you being a rapper, a basketball player, and none of that. Be the best that you can be and uplift your community.
Now let me ask you this. Now I noticed when I was coming up, when I was 16, 17, 15, I used to go to the coffee shop and listen to the older fellas. That's where I got my knowledge from older people.
Me too.
We didn't have the internet where you look on there and get opinions from somebody else your age that's just talking, not from experience. They're just talking from what one of their friends told them.
That's right.
So they're not really learning that because when you learn from the older people, that like when I did, when the older guys was doing something, and I listened to them and they told me, man, you need to do this, you need to change that.
That's right.
I would take the advice because they were like 10, 15
you
years
would
older
listen.
than me. I listened because they had the experience.
Yeah, right.
See, now I notice you don't see that. I know when I go have coffee
Mm-hmm.
with my friends and my colleagues, they're all people my age.
Right.
There's one or two young people, and you know what? Those two younger people that be around us are Spanish and Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
But they listen to us. But it used to be when I came up, it was the black younger people would listen to the older ones. They don't do that.
It was different because it was like sisters in my generation, right? If you didn't have a car,
Right.
the sisters would, if she liked you, right? If she liked you and thought you had potential, and she thought you was kind of cute,
Yeah.
you know, kind of cute, she'd go to McDonald's with you. You could sit on the porch with her. And her parent, you'd meet her pop and whatnot, and he'd be like, "What that boy do? What kind of grades he get in school?"
Yeah.
You know, that's the generation I went up.
Right.
Now it's about strictly money. I get that part, but now it's all about money. It
That's
used
no
to
good.
be about being with the person and
Character.
caring about that person, and if they had potential, you was gonna roll with them.
They don't do that. Like you said.
They don't do that no
You know,
more.
it's gold diggers. So many women are gold diggers.
It's different. And as far as the fellas goes, because it's a two-way street.
Right.
I'm not gonna dog the ladies. The fellas too. It ain't, come on, bro. You can't expect what you bring into the table.
Right.
It's like, I'm not judging nobody. It's
Right.
like whatever you're doing in your life, you got to think about your woman's safety. You got to think about your kids' safety.
Right.
These kids is watching us.
But they're really growing so fast on the internet and all that. See, they're not getting it on the streets. It's fair experience.
Yeah, somebody else is teaching them and implementing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
But a lot of times they get the stuff they get on the internet is exaggerated. It's
Oh,
not.
yeah.
It's not. It's
Oh,
not.
yeah.
It's not actually what's going on
Yeah.
because everybody's trying to press everybody.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah. Look. What y'all see on TV and what you hear
Yeah.
on the radio, it's just fantasy.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
believe it.
seeing a Scarface movie or a Godfather movie.
Uh-huh.
You go, you get entertained, and then you leave that when you leave the theater. It's no different when the rappers is talking about this and that.
Uh-huh.
It's just, you know, and we never played that in front of kids.
Right.
That was for the grown folks, and when you're with your partners, and
Yeah.
you know, y'all out drinking brews and doing your business.
Uh-huh.
You know, it was that. But now it's different. So I'm not gonna down this
Right.
generation. They got different rules than you and I had, and
Right.
so because they're the ones that got to carry it and take us to the next level.
So let me ask you this. We only got a couple of minutes left, and
Okay.
I want you to give us final thoughts and words on what you think. Give advice to these young people. What should they do under the way things are now? If you was able to talk to them right this minute, what would you tell them? What would the first thing you
I'm
tell them?
gonna tell you like this because I got kids. You know,
Right.
my youngest just graduated from USC, and she's 23. It's hard being an artist. I've been an artist all my life, and I'm 56. Go to school, get you a trade, and I'm being real with you. It is hard being an artist. Y'all don't see the stuff that I do when I'm not dancing and doing arts. I work out extremely hard every day, and I've been doing that for years. Go to school.
Right, because you're very, very good. I mean, you're so good that I would think that one of those, you know, we got
Yeah,
talent
company.
years ago would have grabbed you and put you and you'd been famous.
Sure,
You know,
but
'cause-
these people, see, they don't tell you about man, they had 360 contracts, 360 contracts, and all of this stuff that they not gonna tell you on the back end.
Right.
All you seeing is money and jewelry, and it's like
Uh-huh.
it's deeper than that, man. Y'all gotta read, go to school. That's
That's the
my
best,
advice. Go to school.
That's what I tell them. Go to school. You understand? Get educated. I tell them all the time, do that because that's a sure way
Right.
to win. If you want to rap or you want to dance or you want to do those things on the side, do those things, but have something solid that you can depend on.
Yeah.
Don't do like some people. Put everything into that and don't take care of your back because then you're gonna be you might lose all the way around.
Yeah.
Because you won't have the education. If you get the education and still do what you love to do.
That's right.
If you love dancing or you love art, do it, and God will bless you if you're true to it.
That's right.
But be the best you can be, and we're going to let this show go because right now it's the ending of the show, and I want to thank Larry, my guest here. Yeah, I mean Ed. I want to thank Ed
They keep
Jackson.
trying to make me dead.
Edward Jackson, I want to thank Edward Jackson for being on the show, and we will have him come on again because I know there's a lot more he want to say and a lot more questions I want to ask. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to conclude this show, and this is International Red's Fashion Experience.
God bless you.
All right. Yeah, that was a good show.